Now, more than 8 million tonnes of plastic enters the oceans every year, so Sky News is asking you to become an ocean hero and ditch single-use plastics.
Well, as part of the Sky Ocean Rescue campaign, I've spent the last 2 weeks trying to do a plastic-free challenge to try and save the world's seas. And I think it's very easy for us to forget that the waste that we create is actually often ending up in the oceans, which is going all over the world. And I helped to launch the Ocean Rescue campaign in Mumbai, saw for myself firsthand the impact of plastics on the ecosystems there. And that's really been my inspiration and motivation over the last 2 weeks. Let's take a look at how my family and I got on. The biggest challenge really has been supermarket shopping, hasn't it? And trying to get away from the plastic.
Yeah, but I guess that's one of the benefits. It's forced us to come to the market and, you know, buy fresh produce.
Right, what do you fancy?
Could we have the white sourdough, please?
And look, not a bit of plastic in sight. Should we have some courgettes? Yes. No bags, thank you. So many yummy things. That looks absolutely gorgeous. Can't help but notice there's absolutely no plastic anywhere.
No. Part of being a farmer's market stall is that we, try and be as biodegradable as possible.
I think I've got the perfect change as well.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I mean, little things like every day I would start my day during the challenge, open the front door and the newspaper was on the doorstep, wrapped in single-use plastic, and I would just think I've already failed.
At work, we have the plastic cups, which I mentioned.
We don't use plastic water coolers anymore. We have a filter tap instead. However, there's plastic cups, as you get everywhere, the single-use kind.
I spoke to the office manager and asked him if they could replace it with paper cups, and they said yes. So instantly, that's an office of 250 people no longer using plastic cups.
Our biggest change easily has got to be the switch from disposable to reusable nappies. We've easily cut down our use by half. I mean, we're still using them, but not all the time.
If you're a smoker, there's pictures of what cigarettes do to you on the cover. People don't see pictures of fish, you know, dying and seagulls dying and all these things, all this wildlife that's dying because of our waste.
I think we have significantly reduced the amount of plastic that we've got through over the last 2 weeks. In fact, the box looks a lot less full than last time.
We're not going to save the planet, you know, on our own overnight, but if we can affect 20 people...
Oh, what about the onion tart? That looks good.
You know, who then go on to affect another 20 people, then suddenly it can make a big change.
You know what? I think little William might have a future in television. Your husband, not so sure.
Oh, that's so mean.
No, he's done very well. So
you forced him to do this, I should say.
You forced him to do it. How did you get on? Because it's quite tough, isn't it? Give us some tips.
So it's tough, but it's not as hard as you would think, and I really want to try and inspire people and give them some ideas of how we got round it. For example, we would take a Tupperware to the supermarkets because you can buy a lot of meat and cheeses and dairy products over the counter, so you don't have to buy them wrapped in plastic. You can get your fruit loose, either from your local greengrocers or a farmer's market, or indeed from the supermarket, sometimes wrapped in degradable products like a cardboard. When I take off my makeup, which a lot of women can relate to, and including studio men, instead of using a face wipe, I would use a good old-fashioned cotton pad and makeup remover.
So that's biodegradable, is it?
Yeah, that's fine. No, you can't flush it down the loo. It has to go in the bin, actually, funnily enough, but it's not because of plastics. Biodegradable bin liners, really important. Sarah Jane's favourite. There's no excuses. It's easy to do. And the biggest change for any parents out there, and I know a lot of people will balk at the suggestion, and that was the use of reusable nappies. And I just want to say, before we finish this segment, it was not as bad as you would think. And in fact...
brought all sorts of images to my mind.
No, you know, you can actually just reduce the amount that you use by half and try and use them just for wet nappies, for example, rather than really dirty nappies. Okay. And that means that you're changing 8 million nappies going to landfill every single day in the UK.
And it's actually cheaper to use those, isn't it?
Much cheaper and actually a little bit more luxurious. It's all fleecy and lovely compared to plastic. Wow. Those are my thoughts, anyway.
Very useful tips. Thank you for that. And you can make a difference as well by joining our campaign. We'd love you to sign up. SkyOceanRescue.com is the place to go. Share your stories with us on Twitter as well, at SkyOceanRescue, using the hashtag OceanRescue, and see if you can give up single-use plastics, just like Isabel has done, from your life and become an ocean hero.
It's not as hard as you might think.